a theory about crime thrillers and murder mysteries, and a recommendation for a book that kept me up until 3 in the morning because it was so good. And because I have zero self-control when it comes to books. I'm someone who reads a lot of crime thrillers. I treat them like they are chocolate cake, and I'm doing my best impression of that little boy from the Matilda movie. But I have noticed this trend in the past 5 or 10 years where the most popular books in this genre seem to have a lot of gratuitous violence in them. I'm not talking about like average death and violence. I'm talking about like page after page of descriptions of heinous, depraved acts being described in graphic detail. Here's where my theory kind of comes in. In these books where very violent things are occurring, the villains in these stories end up being kind of psychologically flat. They're just not super interesting because they're just pure evil. And there are a handful of books that I think that fall into this, but one in particular is one called Behind Closed Doors. It wasn't very psychologically deep because the only way that a person can commit those kinds of acts is if they're driven by pure malice. And yes, it is scary, but ultimately it's also kind of shallow. And the reason why I think this book and so many like it do so well is because it makes a spectacle of human suffering, and I think it's kind of like a car crash. It's really hard to look away. However, it was a bestseller, so this could be like most things where it's just a matter of taste. Now, there are some authors that never do this. For instance, Lisa Jewell. If I see her name on a book, I will buy it. I don't need to know anything about it. I don't need the plot summary. I just need someone who will take my money. And she published a book just a couple of days ago. I got the audio and did not stop listening to it. It was freaking amazing. It was None of This Is True.